This is the Daily Freakout, the most unwatched show on the internet, coming to you live from my spare bedroom. Today we have a lot to talk about. We've got the 7 continents, we've got NATO, we've got Shakira, and we've got Rick and Morty. By the end of this episode of the show, you are going to know so much more about the world and about life, love, and all the things in between. And the camera angles are not that different. Slightly wider there on that one, and then we're zooming in on that one. Also, look at my mustache. I'm almost at the point of being able to twirl it and turn into a Bond villain of some sort. Look at that. I have very minimal facial hair. It's not the best, as you can see on the sides here. It takes... And look at that patchiness. That's terrible. It takes a long time to grow. I need to get rid of this bit. And this bit's actually been getting annoying lately. I've been considering trimming the middle section, but then it's looking thick-ish. Thick-ish. But it's probably going to go sometime soon because it's just not that good. And it's not that worth keeping. And, yeah, I probably need to trim it at some point soon. If I had a partner, she would help me with deciding that, but I don't, so I just let it go. And it looks stupid. Speaking of she, and speaking of things like that, Shakira wins $64 million refund in the Spanish tax case. There was never any fraud. Apparently. I don't know, I wasn't there. Shakira will receive a €60 million, about $64 million refund after Spanish court ruled in her favour in a long-running dispute over taxes. It is amazing the way tax becomes such a thing in our life, in our world. I'm not against tax. I think tax in general, in theory, like a lot of things, in theory, tax is a good thing. It makes sense. We should all contribute to the world and to the society that we live in and to the places that we are. We want roads. Somebody should pay for them, and taxes are a good way of doing it. Some people talk about toll roads and things like private roads and stuff, but I like the idea that we all contribute to the roads and to rubbish collection and all that kind of stuff. But apparently Shakira, they said, and this was years and years ago, 2011 apparently, they said that Shakira spent 183 days in the country, which means she needed to pay personal income tax, which apparently got to the rate of something like 60 million. And it's very, very common for pop stars to leave the country that they are from in order to not pay tax. England has apparently some very high income tax rates, and a lot of rock stars move to other countries because of that. I think the Rolling Stones are some of them, and a lot of them apparently, I think, go to Spain, which is interesting. Isn't she from Brazil? Anyway, oh no, she moved to Spain. And that's why Spain are saying, hey, you owe us money because you live here so much that you should pay for things, which is true. I agree with that. If you move to a country and you spend enough time in that country, you should contribute to the taxes, even if you're not from there. Spanish authorities tried to tie Shakira to Spain via her then new relationship with soccer star Gerard Piqué. I think that's how you pronounce it. The couple began dating in 2010 and split in 2022. Not a bad run, 11 years. But the court ruled that their relationship was not the same as a marriage. The judge further stated that the tax authority failed to prove that Spain was the main centre or base of Shakira's business activities at the time. I feel like this is probably one of those cases that is so detailed and there's so much going on that I don't care. I just don't care. Shakira released a statement to Rolling Stone. After more than 8 years of enduring brutal public targeting, orchestrated campaigns to destroy my reputation, and sleepless nights that ultimately impacted my health and my family's well-being, the National High Court has officially set the record straight. There was never any fraud, and the administration itself could never prove otherwise simply because it wasn't true. Who knows? Who knows? Apparently the relationship with the soccer player did break up, and she's been a single parent for quite a while. There was something recently about her going to her son's soccer games and her dad wasn't there, but the dad was a soccer player and stuff like that. Ultimately, this is really kind of stuff that we shouldn't know. This is tax fraud. I don't feel like is something that we really need to know too much about people's personal lives and details and stuff like that. But it's an interesting thing because it has been reported on for a while. It has been going on for a while. It would impact your health and your family's well-being and stuff and give you sleepless nights. I'm not a high taxpayer because I don't earn very much. But even I get worried about taxes and stuff sometimes. And the fact that they can just come and say, hey, you owe us tax after not... like you could go 5 years and it's like, oh no, wait, you owe us tax. It's like, sorry, what? It's been 5 years. I paid that. What are you talking about? Or the other good one that I've seen people reference, which is, we know exactly how much tax you owe us, but you need to work it out yourself. It's so funny. And then there's always new taxes, and there's always the taxes on this and the taxes on that and all that kind of stuff. I'm definitely not a cooker or a right-wing conspiracy theorist, but one aspect of that side of things and that thinking that I like is the idea of reducing your tax as much as possible. Because even though I like paying tax, there are just so many taxes. And there's so many people trying to get around taxes and not pay taxes. And there's government organisations that are dedicated to it. And there's businesses that have whole accounting departments that are just trying to not pay tax. And it's part of the reason why I like the idea of disappearing to the woods, where you don't have to worry about taxes. Now, if we didn't pay taxes, we would lose things. There's no doubt. As I said, roads, basic rubbish collection. Can you imagine what would happen if there wasn't rubbish collection? Just think about it. People would not put the effort in to go and dump it in a dedicated dump spot. They would dig a hole in their backyard. We would have a very strange, very weird world if we did not have garbage trucks going around picking up garbage. But anyway, Shakira's victory, however, won't necessarily end the dispute. Spain's tax authority indicated its intention to appeal the ruling to the Supreme Court and stated that no payment will be made until there is a final ruling. So it has not resolved at all. Shakira said every step of the process was leaked, distorted, and amplified using my name and public image to send a threatening message to the rest of the taxpayers. So someone's told her you need to align with the people, and she's obviously doing that. You can go to Rolling Stone to read more about this situation in an article by John Blistine. What a name. But yeah, it's from 2011. That's when it started. Well, that's when the incident, the apparent time of spending your time. It really is, no matter what, no matter how successful you get, you can be Shakira, you can be anybody. And you not only have to obey the laws of the land of where you are, but you can also have shit happen in your life. And divorce, relationship breakups, and tax issues are such a common thing. And she still has to get made up and go on stage and perform and make people happy. Life, eh? It's not that great just because your hips don't lie. Oh, that was... I'm very pleased with myself on that one. Speaking of music, here we go. The record of the week this week is Jolly Dr. Dollywell. We've moved over to side 2 today. So, no, we don't have a track listing or anything, so I've got no idea what side 2 is actually about. I do believe... So, side 2 is actually about this fella, or we're going to go see this fella. And this is Horatio the Horseo.
Once upon a rainy day, some little farm animals were sitting around in Farmer Shay's big red barn.
Let's play what we want to be when we grow up, said the little yellow chick. That's fun.
So all the little farm animals sang. Let's play what we want to be when we grow up. When we grow up, when we grow up. Let's play what we want to be when we grow up. Big as Mommy and Daddy.
Peep, 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 the yellow chick. When I grow up, I want to be a big rooster and flap my wings like this and go cock-a-doodle-doo.
None of them want to be a chicken burger, though, do they? That's fantastic. Let's play what we want to be when we grow up. Who knows where it's going to go? I don't know where it's going to go. It's going to be interesting to see where Horatio the Horseo, the little horse who wanted to be a dentist. I get the feeling that after we hear a few of the animals what they want to be, Horatio is going to come in and say, I want to be a dentist. Which isn't that from what's the Baskin and Robbins? No. One of those Christmas claymation specials. I can't remember the name of it. Let me know in the comments. I can't remember the name of what that special is where one of them wants to be a dentist. But anyway, Horatio the Horseo will find out whether he wants to be a dentist in the next segment of the Record of the Week. But until then, let's talk war. NATO's newest member, Sweden, announces a 4 billion defence investment. Saab pops 5%. What the hell is Saab? I think that's probably Sweden and other bureaus defence or something. The key points for this one from the CNBC website. Sweden will order 4 Navy warships from France in a $4 billion deal that will see its air defence capacity triple. Why? And I've got nothing against France in this situation, but why is France the way, or France, I just pronounced it both ways, France and France. Why is France the go-to for building warships? We apparently had a deal with France here in Australia that we were going to get their warships. Then we swapped it to the United States. Then the United States has gone to shit, and now we're not sure what's going on. But why is France? How did they get so good at building warships? It's the Nordic countries' biggest defence spend or biggest investment since the 1980s. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson said on Tuesday, and of course, because this is a business website of some sort, they have pointed out that the stock trading has gone absolutely through the roof. Because, I mean, fair enough in a way. If you're part of the company that builds those kind of ships, you're going to be pretty excited that this has happened. And your stock's going to go up. And if you want to buy that, then that's good for you and stuff. In fact, there is actually a graphic here. You can see it there. Ignore the old man drinking milk in the corner. Saab AB, so I assume Saab is the company making them. They make cars and that, apparently. Well, I don't mean to... Defense stocks have risen since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Oh, see, this is the crazy and depressing thing about these things. They make so much money from... Let's see if this works. I'm just trying something a bit different here, folks. If I go that camera and then go that, oh, look at that. Look at that. So, that's the graphic. That's the stock price there for this Saab company. People make money off war. That's the sad thing about this, is that death and destruction, which is war. And look, I think, again, I'm not entirely anti-war in that I think at certain times things happen in the world and bad people happen and do bad things, and you unfortunately kind of have to go to war at some point. Humans have always been at war. Animals of any kind fight each other, which is a kind of war. It is an inevitability, unfortunately. I don't I don't want it to happen because it's not, like, it's bad. It's just simply straight up bad. There's no way to get around that. It is bad. But it's inevitable, in my opinion. And the destruction that comes from it, the death, the young people, all that kind of stuff. But then there are people out there who are potentially the bad people as well, making money. Because look at all these, look at the stock prices. Look at the stock price right here. Oh, wait, there. 2025. What's that? So June's in the middle there. So that's the start of, that's January 2025. Boom, up it goes. From 200% to 600%. That's a 400% rise. And then it keeps going up to 900%. I'm not sure what the percentage is, but it just keeps going up if you're this company. So if you've invested in war apparatus, then you love the fact that the stock price is going up and that they're going to war with different countries. It's very, very disappointing because this is the kind of stuff that happens. People make money off these things, and ideally, we wouldn't have that. But anyway, so yeah, stock price of this company, Saab, has gone up. If it is the same company, it possibly is. But the reason why I found this headline in this article interesting was the fact that, to me, it shows Europe in general bracing themselves. It's a sign of potentially incoming war. The crazy thing, though, is the purchase of the French defence and intervention frigates from Naval Group is valued at about 40 billion Swedish crowns, $4.25 billion. I'm assuming American website, American money there. And the first delivery is expected in 2030. So what's that? Still three and a half years until that happens. So it's that thing of, well, we have to be prepared, but when are we prepared for? Are we prepared? We're prepared for 3 to 4 years from now. And then by that time, who knows what the world's going to be like and whether these are needed or not. And we've just spent 40 billion Swedish crowns on all these ships that we no longer need. Maybe we will need them. Who knows? And in the meantime, the people trading on the stock market have sold off a bunch of their stocks and made a bunch of money. It's really like people like me who literally just want to live on a little farm, do a little radio show in the morning, and go for a dog walk. We're struggling, we'll be struggling to handle a world where rich people continue to be rich because they trade stocks on whether people are going to go to war or not and kill and destroy and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know how you change that. I don't know if you can change that. And to me, that's kind of depressing and kind of upsetting. And it's just, what do you do? What do you do? As I said, I just want to go for a dog walk. I just want to take my dogs to the park. Sit down, have a coffee, smoke a joint, go home. That's what I want to do. That's why COVID was so good for me. The government said, stay at home, stay away from people, and here's some money. Can you guys not? I mean, I'm talking you up as how you're really awesome, and you're sitting under the desk barking at the neighbours. They're just going to work. The neighbours are just... We've recently got new neighbours, and Asher... No! What the hell? We've recently got new neighbours, and for some reason these two think that they need to growl and bark. They're 10 years... These dogs are 10 years old. We've lived in this house for 9 years. At no point has them barking ever been a positive thing. Come here. No. Don't try and get away. Come here. Look at all the people on the internet. Yes. Be embarrassed. Can you be embarrassed a bit? You're not going to bark now, are you? Go on. Anyway. This girl is awesome, but she likes to have a bark when she doesn't need to. Thank you very much. You've really contributed to the show.
Move the little brown cow. I want to be a great big cow and chew my cud all day like this and give lots of milk. Honk, honk, honk the little gray goose. I want to be a big goose and fly like a wild goose, like this.
Oink, 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 the fat little pig. I want to be a great big hog. When I grow up, peep the yellow chick, chick. I'll cock-a-doodle-doo all day.
When I grow up, honk the little gray goose, I'll fly far, far away.
When I grow up, moo the little brown cow, I'll give milk and butter too.
And the little white duck very loudly quacked, I'll swim as big ducks do. Now all this time, Horatio the Horseo hadn't said anything. He just kept smiling at himself in a very pleased way as he looked into a rain puddle, which was as shiny as a mirror. Then he said something so funny that the little farm animals couldn't believe their ears. Horatio the Horseo said, "I want to be a dentist, and I don't have to wait until I grow up. I'm big enough already, and my teeth are very big indeed." Honk, honk, ha, ha, laughed the little gray goose. Quack, quack, ho, ho, laughed the duck.
Well, it was inevitable. I knew it was going to happen. I saw it coming a mile away. Horatio the Horseo wants to be a dentist, whilst all the other animals want to be bigger versions of themselves, which kind of makes sense. Well, isn't it thrilling? Jolly Dr. Dollywell, the record, is really turning up some interesting storylines and plots. We'll see how it ends later in the week. Everyone's very excited to hear what's going to happen with Horatio the Horseo. I haven't listened to this side of the record, so I'm learning and discovering this as much as you guys are. Anyway, let's talk about something a little bit more positive, especially if you're a nerd. Rick and Morty's long-rumored movie is officially happening with the best possible director. Series co-creator Dan Harmon confirmed supervising director Jacob Hare will direct. Apparently, Jacob Hare is a regular director, writer, and contributor to the show, and he's going to think... In my previous relationship, many, many years ago, it was assumed that I would like Rick and Morty. And from what I've seen, I completely understand why anyone would think that I would like Rick and Morty. But everything I've seen has not enticed me to watch more of it. I don't know what it is. Maybe I should watch it. It's apparently got many, many series. Apparently season 9 is premiering in a couple of days on the 24th of May. And so I should give it a shot. I really should, because it's apparently very, very popular and very, very funny. And I should give it a shot. What's his name? Jacob Hare is the guy that's going to direct the new movie. Apparently he's done a number of episodes which have been very popular and have a very cinematic vibe to them. And so he's apparently the best person that's going to be done for this, for the movie. And so it's all very, very exciting. The news got leaked a couple of days ago, if not a day ago. And so now Dan Harmon has come out and said it is official. And hopefully there's a little bit of controversy because apparently one of the co-creators of the show pursued young fans and had a bit of a thing for young people, pedophile, and sexual assault and stuff like that. And apparently that's a bit of controversy with Rick and Morty. But as far as I'm aware, he is no longer associated with the show. I'm doing a very quick read of an article that I just brought up because I wanted to just touch on that. Yeah, so that's not relevant now anymore to the show. He is no longer part of it, I believe. So we don't have to worry about that. We can like Rick and Morty, and it's okay. While those charges were later dropped in March 2023 due to insufficient evidence, the scandal opened the floodgates for multiple women to come forward with allegations of sexual assault, harassment, and predatory behaviour toward underage fans via private messages. So, yeah, it's always a shame when these things happen because some people would enjoy something, and then they find out that the creator is not so great. Fans of Neil Gaiman in particular, most recently. Yeah, what a shame. But in exciting news, Rick and Morty have got a movie coming out. So who knows when that'll happen. I don't think they've even... The article that I did read from Polly... Oh, why am I got so many burps today? From Polygon, didn't say when the movie's coming out. It just said who they're going to have involved to do the movie. Harmon said, my philosophy would be to just take a Rick and Morty adventure and spend a bunch of extra money on it and make it 90 minutes long, Harmon said. Not to try to earn its feature status by virtue of canonical. Whoa, how do I pronounce that? Canonical dramatic tone shifts or anything like that, but rather to just make a super badass episode of Rick and Morty. That was what he was quoted in 2023. Hopefully, they will do something pretty outlandish and outstanding for it. Who knows? There's very, very little information. All that has been revealed is that it is going to happen and that a guy who is trusted is involved in making it happen. And so that's great for the fans of Rick and Morty, of which I am not currently one. Maybe I should watch it. If you know of a good episode or a good place to start, I feel like starting at episode 1 is the way to go. So I might do that. We might do that. We might see how we go. If I had the reaction level or good reactions to things like that, I'd do a reaction video for it, but I don't, so I'm not going to. Oh, wrong button.
Little pig
And the little brown cow laughed, ho, ho, moo.
You can't possibly be a dentist, quacked the fluffy duckling. You haven't got a white coat,
You can't be a dentist.
mooed the little brown cow.
You haven't got anything for people to read in your office while they're waiting for you.
What's an office?
Peeped the yellow chick, who was too young to know about such things. You can't be a dentist, honked the little gray goose. You haven't got a chair that goes up and down. But Horatio the Horseo just kept on smiling with his big teeth. He laughed a big horse laugh.
Good on him. Absolutely, Horatio the Horseo. How dare all those other animals try to diminish his dream of being a dentist. He hasn't got a coat, sure. He hasn't got a chair, sure. He hasn't got magazines for people to read in his office. Okay, fine. He hasn't got qualifications either. But he can get those things. He can get all those things. If he works hard, he goes to dentistry school, he can work hard and get all those things. He can get a chair, he can get magazines, and he can get a white coat, and he can get qualifications. So, tune in tomorrow to find out if Horatio the Horseo actually gets any of those things. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've made it this far, you are part of a very, very select, small group of people. And when I say that, I mean you are the first. And I appreciate it if you have made it this far. I feel like I'm getting better at this because I'm doing it every day. And eventually one day, people may actually watch. And it won't be just me in my room playing make-believe, talking to no one. Thank you very much for tuning in. This is the Daily Freakout for Wednesday, the 20th of May. I'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday, or for Thursday, the, what's the day tomorrow? Thursday, the 21st of May, 2026. This is the Daily Freakout. Thank you very much. Goodbye.